Okay, so now today we're going to do another pallet project. I'm going to build a tool storage shed out of pallets. I'm going to show you how we're going to get that done. All right, so remember, most of the time you can get pallets for free from stores. Okay, so the thing you got to keep in mind is if you have any extra wood laying around or anything you can use to add to those pallets, or maybe you got to go to the store and buy some wood. But you know, for me, I'm trying to use wood that I have that's left over from other projects that I've been working on. So what we're going to do is get a pallet tool shed built today. Okay, so this right here is going to be my base, and you can see the pallets are not in the best of shape. I mean, the wood's not even lined up; they're off. But we're gonna make it right. Okay, and this is some pallets that I have here. So I'm going to use this as a storage thing. Now why I have this this tin under here is because it does, when it rains or whatever, it'll help get that out of there, blah blah blah. And then I took some stones, or rock I should say, some decorative rock, some pieces of it just to help prop it up. And now we're going to get busy screwing shit in. Okay, so there's three main things that I need, right? So my trusty DeWalt impact. If you remember, I did a video where I said I'm going to use the impact a lot more. I really love the drill, so I'm going to use the impact a lot this year just to see you know, how much it holds up and how good it holds up. Now I don't have timber lock screws, and I firmly believe in using timber lock screws for projects like this, or the screws that are very similar. I do have, however, these screws, and this is called Deckmate 6-inch screws. So I'm gonna have to make that work. It's about making it work, right? Just remember the farmer's way. We're gonna make it work. However, them Milwaukee bits are some of the worst bits that I've ever used in my life. Everybody talks about how good Milwaukee is, blah blah blah. On the power tool, sure. Their accessories, yeah, not so much, right? These bits are really crappy. I bought several things Milwaukee that just did not impress me. So, but I'm gonna have to just make it damn work, you know? So, but we're gonna use the DeWalt. Okay, let's get started. And as you can see, not all pallets are created equal. These are not the same size, and that wood's gonna be off, obviously. It's gonna be off, but you know, I did put one screw, which is all I need on each side, just to connect the two. Okay, so I went ahead and put in the back two. Obviously, like I said, the pallets are a little bit off. They're not all the exact same, but I'm gonna show you. See how that's a little bit off? I'm gonna show you here in a minute how to tie all that in. So I just want to show you, I'm not dealing with perfectly squared off pallets. If you can see, these are, if you can see there, these are just not perfectly squared off. But it's going to do for what I need it to do, which is to, I've actually connected this with a 2x4. And this is actually, it's a little difficult when you're doing it by yourself. So this is where I'm at with it so far. Those back pallets are not even, as it showed you earlier, but I'm gonna even all that shit out. But yeah, not bad for what's gonna be a just a little tool storage thing. So I'm gonna get some siding on here and get the roof on. Right now I'm going to look for materials. I'm using materials that we already have out here. We already had this. I'm going to paint that. I don't like the color of that. But let's see what else we got out here. Yep, we got more of the white. A lot of materials to choose from. Let me get back on it. Okay, so I'm at a stopping point. The whole point of this video is to show that you can make something out of stuff that you may have laying around in your yard, and with free pallets, just adding to it, right? So I got a bunch of different types of material on here that you know, doesn't quite match, but it's going to serve a purpose. It's going to do its job, and I'm going to paint all this, so it's going to look pretty good when it's done. Now if you look up in there, I don't know if you can see it on camera, but there's holes in the tin because that's old used tin that I'm using up there, and I'm going to have to caulk all that. But yeah, so when you come in here, again, those were the pallets that were really messed up, but I used them. So just because you think pallets are not usable, they could be. So I got plenty of room in here for my tools. I still got work to do. But I'm actually standing in here, and I got plenty of room for the stuff that I need to put in here, but I don't have any caulk for that, so I'm going to do that. I am not putting a door out here. I don't need a door out here because this is on our own farm, and there's no reason for us to have a door here. So there's other stuff I'm going to add, and I've been scrounging for materials. I had a bunch of landscape timbers that were cut into small pieces, and I just popped some on there, and that's the whole goal, is just to pop stuff on there and just create something usable. But yeah, so in the middle of this project, Barbara decided she needed to go to town, so we stopped and went to town. But on the way there, she did mention that this looks like an outhouse, and I was like, an outhouse? But yeah, it looks like an outhouse, I guess, when you look at it from the one side, but it's not an outhouse. Clearly it's a tool shed for me. So if you can see there, it's going to look pretty good once it's all painted and blended in. I'm calling it a day on it for today. I've only worked on this for about 3.5, 4 hours. And this is the side that she said resembles an outhouse. And I'm like, man, no, that's not the look I was going for at all. But I was just going for something functional. Obviously, I still have to fill in these gaps here. I'm going to use wood to do that. I got plenty of wood out here on the farm. I am not going to put anything up there because the rain will not get in there, but I am going to caulk those holes on the roof. But there, I'm going to leave that open, and I'm not putting any floor down. Now you could use pickets or anything for flooring. I don't need flooring because I'm just stacking stuff up in here. This tools, and this will work perfectly for me. But if you wanted to, you could always add flooring. And it's just an idea of what to do with some pallets. Obviously, I had all the longer screws, so I'm going to pay money for different size screws with the cost of materials right now. Okay, this is another day. I ran out of good wood that I have here at the farm that was accessible to me to finish that tool shed. However, I have to take apart, if you remember the second pallet doghouse I built where I said it was temporary, well, it was for the remodeling of the farmhouse. And the cost of materials to remodel a farmhouse right now is insane. So yeah, we had to figure something else out. But we will get back to remodeling the farmhouse. It's just the cost of materials right now really sucks. So what I'm going to do is take this apart, finish the tool shed, and I'm going to build a deck around one of the mobile homes that we put out here. Okay. So this is, remember I put together a doghouse and I said it's going to be temporary. That's why I didn't screw down the roof. I didn't try to make it that good. But it's coming down because I need all those pickets to finish that tool shed. And I need those pallets to help with the deck that I'm building. Okay, let's get started. Okay, I managed to get 2 long 2x4s and 2 pickets so far off of there in what, 3 minutes. Got to take that tent off with a hammer, but I'm gonna get this over to the tool shed we was building and go ahead and attach that. What we're doing here is we're not going for pretty, we're going for functionality, right? So as you can see, there is various pinholes in the roof. I don't know if you can see them, but no rain got through there after 12 hours of rain, which was crazy. And it rained pretty heavy. But I gave it time to see if it was going to leak, and it didn't, but I did add a few things just in case. So I added that board from the old doghouse. I closed this up with a piece of landscape timber. No, it doesn't go all the way down because, for the simple reason, because I didn't have a full length one. So again, not pretty, but functional, right? So let me take you inside. So this is just, if y'all been keeping up with my videos, you know I've got a lot of tools. This is just some of the tools that I have. This building is going to work for me perfectly. So this is just some of the tools that I have here, and I'm going to fill this thing up with about $8,000 worth of tools. And I'm just getting started filling it up actually, but I want to talk about the floor for a minute. I don't need a full floor in here because a lot of the containers are going to be like that container with a yellow lid there. So these slits in the floor will be just fine, and I'm maximizing my use by using some of those holes. I'm gonna put more hooks up in here, but these are not hooks. So because I didn't want to spend the high price for different size screws, I just used longer screws that I already had, and I'm able to use them to hook some things on. So yeah. Now let's take a step back out of here, and you'll see it after I get all, well, to be on the level with you. No pun intended. Well, maybe it was, but to be on the level with you, I'm gonna get about $8,000 worth of tools in here. It's gonna be really packed up, but this is gonna serve a function for me because it's gonna hold 75% of the hand tools that I have, which is great. So what I want to do, if I get, by the way, these are sticking out for a reason because I'm gonna put hooks in there and they're gonna hold things. So I'm trying to utilize, again, I used the screws that I had, which was longer, which is fine. It does the job. This is not for a customer, it's for me. So I have no problem with it. There's no rain getting through here, and because the roof overextends there, I'm able to store some power tools back here. I'm going to get more power tools back here too. So, and I'm going to use these little cubby holes here to put things in. So yeah, so this is the finished product. Everything on here is basically serving a purpose. It was stuff that we already had, that just we were able to reuse. Now let me talk about something real quick. So the 2 pallets on the back, right, those pallets were in horrible shape on one side of them. As you can see, they're kind of angled down on each side, which is again fine with me, and I was able to use them anyway because every other side of these pallets are in good shape. It's just the one side I didn't need to square them off because it's just for me. And that don't bother me at all. It works, it serves the purpose. I'm gonna have safety glasses hanging up there. I'm gonna have a lot of stuff, and I don't need to put a door on here. Now y'all may want to put a door on y'all's depending on where y'all live at. I don't need to put a door on here because this is at the farm and nobody's stupid enough to come on here and attempt to take the tools, because that would be very, very dumb. Anyway, so that's finished. So now I need to go ahead and start taking apart the rest of that doghouse. And again, it serves a purpose, right? Some of the materials don't match, but it's definitely going to serve its purpose. But I'm going to start taking apart the rest of that doghouse because I got to build a deck on one of the mobile homes we got out here. So I'm going to use the pallets to actually build a deck, and the wood that we got around here to build a deck. So it's on our farm, so we're going to do it our way. But yeah. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you do, if you could, like, share, and subscribe to the video. However, even though we did it, or I did it this way, I know that there's a lot of y'all that can probably do this way better than what I've done, and that's fine. You know, I'm just showing you what I can do with materials that would have otherwise been thrown away. A lot of these materials are from different projects that we had that we just kept some of the stuff that was being torn down, or we kept leftovers or from the new stuff. But yeah, but the bulk of it is pallets. And again, if you leave these little holes open, you can use them to put, see, I got a sledge over there, pickaxe right there in the corner, paint stirrer. We use that as a paint stirrer. And yeah, but this is going to actually be way more filled up. Anyway, until next time, I would like to keep doing these videos. I would like to see some higher numbers if possible. You know, so please share the video, and thank everybody for watching. Let me add one more thing, okay? So if you come out here and you see I left holes there and I left holes up there, the reason why is because here in the summertime it gets very hot, and I want us to maximize the airflow through here as to not contain a lot of heat, which again, it was selecting, which is why I selected where I put it too, because as you can see, there's a tree there, there's trees, so we're going to keep it in the shade, and allow the air to come in through there, exit out there, because heat rises, right? And we got the holes in the bottom will do very good. The negative thing about being out where we stay and leaving these slits is that snakes can get in here. But I've got preventative measures I'm going to use to keep the snakes away. And actually, those cedar pickets are really good because most of the insects stay away from cedar. There's some insects that don't, but the ones that we have that tend to be pests will stay away from the cedar. And so it's a great deterrent too. So, but I'll get some snake repellent in here because there is rattlesnakes out here. Again, have a good one. Thank you.